Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. This is Samsung In-App Purchase, your monetization gateway for Galaxy apps. My name is Gaby Rojas. I'm part of the developer support team here in the US. I'm here with KJ, part of the Samsung In-App Purchase development team. And we're very excited to go through our new SDK, some new features that we want to share with you. Before we get started, I just want to hear a little bit who's here with us. Can you please raise your hand if you are aware of what Galaxy Apps is or you attended the previous session? Anybody? OK, so you know. Any game developers? OK, awesome. Well, this is a very good session just to get started to see how you can make money with us. And let's just kick. We're going to have table of contents. Basically, we're going to cover an overview of Samsung In-App Purchase. We're going to talk about the new SDK. We have a 5.0 SDK that we are about to release. We are going to also talk about the gear in-app purchase for wearable devices. We also are supporting the Tizen wearables. And we have also a brief overview of Unity IAP. Later on, we're going to go through the specific APIs of the new SDK. And then after all that work of reviewing the SDK and getting your hands on and integrating, we want to let you know what you need to do to publish your application in Galaxy Apps and how to promote it. So my objective at the end of this session is that you are going to have clear understanding of the marketing opportunities of Galaxy Apps and Samsung In-App Purchase. You are going to be clear about the new features of the new SDK, IAP 5.0. And you are ready to publish your application and know what are the steps needed in order to request for promotion in Galaxy Apps. So Samsung In-App Purchase overview. As I mentioned, Galaxy Apps. I just want you to be clear about what Galaxy Apps is. Galaxy Apps is a Samsung app store that is preloaded on all Samsung devices. What is very unique about Galaxy Apps is we're looking for quality content, very curated content that offers exclusive content to the users or a customized experience for Samsung devices. We are looking for that type of content that is different, that will attract our customers. And if you want to be promoted in Galaxy Apps and you are monetizing, you need to have Samsung In-App Purchase in order to be considered for promotion. In terms of Samsung In-App Purchase, well, it's our payment service that will allow you to sell digital items inside your application. We support different payment methods according to the country. We are a global store. We are in over 90 countries. So we have regular credit card, carrier billing, local payments. We also have Samsung Pay. In supported countries, we support other carrier billing and payment methods such as WeChat and Alipay in China. So there's a lot of the different payment methods that will vary according to the country. The promotional opportunities, I think everybody here wants to make money. If you are willing to invest your time and your engineering efforts to integrate an SDK into your application, is because at the end of the day, you want to see results. You want to see your application performing and making money. So Samsung In-App Purchase will give you that promotional opportunity. As I mentioned, apps that have Samsung In-App Purchase integrated to their application, in their application will be promoted in Galaxy Apps once our editorial team reviews them and we see we have quality content. As we have seen historically, the revenue will increase at least 4 times in some cases. So it's a very good way to get your app promoted and have more visibility in the store. So what's new in Samsung In-App Purchase 5.0? We have worked with a lot of partners. We have heard feedback. The SDK has been there for a while. And we know what is needed, right? We want an easier way for you to port your application from previous billing systems to our platform. So basically, what we are releasing in this new SDK is item consumption management. We will take care of that. We have an enhanced security with a pass-through parameter. We are very concerned about security. We're finding ways to make it safe for you to do transactions. We are enhancing the subscription. Within the subscription model, there's a lot of opportunities to explore. Therefore, we are offering free trial, flexible free trial, different type of flexibility in setting up the number of days that you want a free trial. And also, we'll have multiple subscription payment cycles, which we're going to review a little bit more. And the main user flow in Android devices. So basically, you have a game, for example, and you're selling coins. You want to display those items that you're selling in your application. Once the user selects the coin or the package that they want to buy, they have to authenticate through their Samsung account. The authentication can be done either by input their password to the Samsung account. If the device supports biometrics with a fingerprint or iris scanner, you can also authenticate that way. And once that's done, well, you need to select your payment method. Again, this screenshot is, for example, from the US. So you have PayPal, credit card, and Samsung Pay supported. User can select any desired payment method. And once that's done, well, basically, you see a pop-up saying the transaction has been completed. There's a pop-up from the SDK that can be customized to be displayed or not. And you can also show your own pop-up from your application. Gear apps. So the wearable space is really growing. We have invested quite a lot on it. And we see that watch faces are really popular. Like users, when they buy a new device, the first thing they do, they want to customize it. I want it to look like just how I like it, sporty or a little bit more girlish. Depends user per user. So we have a model that is try and buy. Users can try watch faces, and if they like it, they can buy it. So that's something, a great opportunity for in-app items in watch faces. Also, regular gear apps can integrate Samsung in-app purchase according to their needs. And we also have a Gear Watch Face Designer tool. Very easy to create a watch face, no coding skills required. There's going to be a session in this same room in a little bit. I recommend to check it out if you want to learn more about watch faces. For game developers, I know most of you will be working with Unity. So we have partnered with Unity. We have Unity IAP supported. So it's very easy to support Galaxy apps. You just have to select the Galaxy App Store support and follow their guidelines to be able to sell items through Galaxy apps, and you're all set. So also very straightforward. OK, so let's go into details about the SDK. So basically, when you download the SDK, you're going to get a helper class. And you also get a sample application that is going to tell you how to use that helper class. We support ice cream sandwich and higher. So there's a wide range of devices supported right there. And the only dependency that we have is you need to update to the latest version of Galaxy apps, which is going to be released by end of this month. The reason you need to update to the latest version of Galaxy apps is because we have an IAP service client that is integrated with Galaxy apps, which needs that compatibility. Basically, you will have a simplified product types. We have items that can be consumable or non-consumable, and the subscriptions. As I mentioned before, the main new features are item consumption, pass-through parameter, and an enhanced subscription, which here are all the items you can see. So non-consumable, you want to remove ads from your application, you can use those. You buy once, remains effective. You also have consumable. This is very common for all those game developers. The coins, the hearts, anything else that you sell to your users is consumable. And once they buy it, the item needs to be consumed in order for them to buy again. And subscription, we heard a lot from our partners. They needed more flexibility with the subscription. So we have now a free trial from 7 to 999 days. And payment cycles will have weekly, monthly, 3 months, 6 months, and annually. Coming from other platforms, well, you have all your infrastructure already for your items, for how your transaction, your catalog is working. So we want to make this a very straightforward porting to our platform. So we are trying to do a one-on-one mapping with other SDKs, the most popular ones. So it's very easy for you to understand what you need to do in order to bring your application to the store. A little bit of the overview of how the SDK is interacting. So you have your application, which through the helper class, you're going to have 5 main API calls that will communicate with the helper class. And that helper class will talk to the IAP service app, which at the end will communicate with the in-app purchase server. We're going to review each of the main API calls. We also have server API calls. So your server application can talk to the in-app purchase server, and you can also verify the transactions. Very straightforward. You download the SDK from our website. You just need to import the helper class into your project as a new model. Then you need to add the regular manifest for permissions, and you're set to go. So the first thing, as in everything, you need to initialize the object, the AAP helper object. So in order to do that, you also need to set the operation mode. The operation mode is basically production or test mode. We're going to talk a little bit more about when to use each mode, but it's pretty straightforward. If you are starting the development of the integration, if you're starting to integrate, you want to see how the APIs work, we recommend you use a test mode. So that will affect all the different APIs. And once that's set, you can start seeing how to make a purchase or get the information about the products. Start purchase, I think one of the most important API calls. Basically, you need to pass the item ID to the start payment API. The item ID is something that you will define in our dashboard. We're going to talk about the dashboard in a little bit. In Seller Office, you define a unique identifier. That will be the item ID. You also define the pass-through parameter for security reasons. And then the show success dialog, remember you can customize it, turn it on and off. It's off by default. And you just need to define a callback where you're going to receive the information of that purchase object. So the purchase object will give you the item name. It will give you the currency, the price. But the most important thing that you need to remember is it will also give you a purchase ID. This purchase ID is a unique identifier that you need to keep track of because we're going to continue to use it later on in other APIs. As we mentioned, we have now the consumption of items. So we have a consume purchase items API. Basically, you have to pass the purchase ID of that item. And then you need to check if it can be consumed. There are some items that cannot be consumed. But if it's a consumable item, you will consume it. And then basically, you just check in the callback if the item has been consumed successfully or not. Then if you want to know the list of products that the user owns, we also have an API for that. Basically, it's called getOwnList. You specify the product type. It can be, I want all the items that the user owns. It can be consumed items that have not been consumed, active subscriptions, and non-consumed items. Or you can say, just give me subscriptions or just give me items. And once you select, give me all the, get the own list, you will receive an array of own product objects that will have the regular information about that item, the price, the currency, if it can be consumed, the purchase ID, when it was purchased, the pass-through parameter, and if it's a subscription end date. Yes. Wait a second. We have a question? Oh, there's nobody there. Yeah, please. So
this is all of the applications on a device, or just my applications?
So the question is if this is for all the applications in the device or just his application. This is unique to your application that is integrated in our SDK. Okay? We also have an API that is called Get Product Details. If you want to get all the detailed information of the items that you have registered, you can call this API. You will basically pass all the product IDs available. It can be multiple product IDs. For example, we have coins, 5, 10, especially I know there are applications that have hundreds or thousands of items registered in their dashboard for the user to purchase. And you will receive, again, an array of product BO objects. Those product BO objects will give you item name, the price, the currency, if it can be consumed or not, the subscription duration, if it has a free trial or not. Very important information about your objects. We talked before that we have server APIs. In this case, we have a server-to-server verification of a transaction. So basically, you have the user has made a purchase, and you want to ensure this is a valid purchase. You can check our server to see the transaction was valid. For that, we have a server API that you need to use that purchase ID. Remember, I mentioned when you do a transaction, a start payment, API call will return you a purchase ID that is unique. This is the one that you can use in order to verify the transaction. And then you will get all the information about that transaction. If it was done in production mode, if it was done in a test mode, what type of payment method they use, PayPal or credit card or any other. It will also tell you an order ID, which is very important. It's different from the purchase ID because it's order ID number. It will be seen in the receipt that the user gets when they buy an item from the store. So if a user is saying, I have a problem with my item, I cannot get it, I want a refund, or I just want to clarify something from that transaction, you can use this order number to match it in your records with what it has been sold. For those that are doing subscription, we also have a subscription status API. Basically, again, we will have a token that is created based on your seller ID, a unique identifier, and then you need to use that purchase ID from the start payment API call in order to check the subscription status that a user has. So it will tell you if the subscription is active or has been canceled. It will tell you the country code, the price, if he had a free trial, no. So you can gather all important information from that subscription without depending on the client that is in the device. So basically, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. Mostly 5 API calls, plus 2 other for server to server verification. We will have the SDK ready by early November. So a few more weeks, we are fine-tuning it. We want to get some developers' feedback in order to see what do you think about this SDK, if it's good enough for your needs, if there's something else that maybe we cannot improve right away, but we can get down in our roadmap to see how can we make it better. So if you are interested in trying the SDK, in providing feedback, please let us know. You can contact us at support@samsungdevelopers.com. We also have a booth. You can stop by, talk to us, or you can come and meet us at the end of this session and let us know. So basically, we went through the SDK. As I mentioned, I work with a lot of developers. I've seen the effort of like integrating, learning a new SDK, working with us, testing in multiple devices. But at the end of the day, like, how do I get it to the store? How do I make my application available for all the customers? How do I get promoted? How am I going to make money? Because we are all here to make money, right? So these are the easy steps that you need to follow to have your application live in Galaxy Apps. The first one is register to Seller Office, right? So what is Seller Office? Seller Office is our dashboard when you can go and register your application. You can also register your in-app items. You can manage them there, manage the updates. And basically, it's free of cost. You go there, register, create an account, and you're good to go. There are different categories, developer or partner, individual developer, corporate, but it's all pretty straightforward. As you are going to be monetizing, we require you to have a commercial seller account, which basically you need to give us your bank account information so we can pay you money, or link your PayPal account so we can do the transactions for all the revenue that it's going to generate. Once you are in Seller Office and you have your commercial account, well, basically you just need to register your application. It's pretty much the standard thing. Register your assets, the description, select the supported devices. Samsung has a huge range of devices with different resolutions that you need to take advantage of. And then you also register your items, right? So we support item bulk upload for those game developers mostly that have a lot of items, 200, 300 items that you don't want to manually register in the system. We support that. And let me show you. You can also set up prices per country. For each item, you can set up a price in each country, and you will see for each country the different payment methods that are supported. So if you want to make a promotion, I don't know, somewhere in Europe, you can manage a different price point from what is in the US. Then to test your application, we talk about operation modes. As I mentioned before, when you start to integrate the SDK, and you need to see if the API is working, if everything, your items are being detected, and everything is in place, we recommend you use test mode. That is basically is going to try to do fake transactions. There's no charge incurred in there. Once you feel comfortable with the integration, you think like, yeah, I'm pretty confident I'm in the right path, you can switch the mode to production mode. That's when you're going to actually start making real transactions. In order for you to test real transactions, we have a closed beta that you can set up in Seller Office. So basically, you just go there, say, I want to do this release for a closed beta. I register my Samsung account testers, my tester Samsung account. So basically, if I have my QA team in the device, they have a Samsung account. We just register in the system, and they will get access to that build. But they're still going to do real transactions, and they're going to get charged. So that's not ideal. we also can whitelist them as valid license testers, so they can do the real transactions, but then no charge will incur. So this is very important because it's one step before releasing your application. You want to make sure real transactions are working. Everybody in your team, your QA team, developers, product management, are confident with the applications that is working as expected. So what's different with us is we have a certification process. So once you have your application ready, you need to submit for certification process. Why do we do this? Well, quality, as I mentioned, is very important to us. So we need to ensure your application is working in Samsung devices, especially when we have such a different variety of phones and resolutions, chipsets, everything is very complex. So we need to make sure that you're saying an application is supporting for this variant that it actually works. Usually for Android, the certification process takes around 1 day for your applications to be live, because we do a quick content validation basic function testing. But then the testing continues. Your application is live, but we continue to test it for the next 5 days, because we need to cover a lot of different device groups, do more specific testing. If we find an issue while there's been testing during the second step, we might have to suspend your application. You will receive a notification saying, we found this issue, please address it as soon as possible, and your application will be suspended for that specific device group until you submit an update. Now, we know this is not ideal for everybody. Sometimes you have to do a hotfix, or you need a faster turnaround time, right? You cannot wait 1 day to release an update. So we are working on a pilot phase that is called Quick Pass. Well, we guarantee a 30-minute certification process. And then you will have one-on-one communication support with a Samsung team that will help you. If you get an issue from the certification team, we will help you address it as soon as possible to make sure you have your app updated and everything is addressed accordingly. So we're looking for 100 partners right now that want to be part of this initial phase, that want to work with us, that want to integrate the SDK, that want to have their application in the store, and basically we want to help them to be successful to be in the store. And after all this effort and everything you have done, well, you can have your application live in the store. Here we can see one of our partner samples. We have a game, and we also have a watch face, a gear app that basically is in the store, is ready to be promoted if it qualifies for it. But you will have all the information of your application in the store, the version, product details. We have also screenshots, other type of, if it contains in a purchase, well, of course, it will show for the user. And users can start consuming it, can start navigating and finding it. So I want to talk about a little bit regarding promotion. I know everybody wants to be promoted, right? I don't think anybody will say, like, no, I'm OK. I just want to get organic downloads. So if everybody wants to be promoted, what's the right channel to get this, right? To get this to happen. So we have a Samsung developer program. We basically have a way for you to let us know that you want to be promoted. You can submit a ticket and let us know, I have an app. I want to be promoted. We're going to need more information from your side. It's going to depend on the editorial team to review it, to see if it's the application meets our standard, if it's good for us to promote it. But we will have that conversation with you. We will provide that feedback. We also offer some other benefits as part of the Samsung developer program. One of them is technical support. That's also something our team does. So while you are integrating the SDK, if you're having issues, if something is not working, we are there to support you. You can contact us. We will provide 24-hour response time. We will try to give you alternative solutions, find the right person that can help you. We also have the Galaxy Apps badge generator. So once you have your app live in the store, well, you have to promote it in your social channels, via email, your website. You can generate your badge there. Pretty straightforward. You just post it there, and you can start also getting more downloads from your own channels. They are running a contest starting pretty soon. So they're trying to see what application can get the most clicks in the badge, and the winner can get promotion in the store for 2 weeks. So please check it out. They're in a booth in the Galaxy App Zone area, and it's a pretty interesting contest. We also have just recently launched a discounted device program. I know it's hard for developers to get access to the devices, especially the newest ones. We are trying to help that by offering a program that will give you a discount. It's for you to get a new Gear Sport. For example, right now we have the Gear Sport 15% discount until end of this month. So take advantage of it, because there's a lot of potential for you to develop applications specifically for Gear or for mobile or any other platform. We also do a lot of webinars. These webinars are technical webinars to talk about the new SDKs, the new kind of updates that we're doing to the tools. We also want to know what kind of webinars you want, so let us know. You can send us an email and say, I want a webinar about this, and we'll work with the teams to make it happen. And we also have a monthly newsletter. We send the latest information to our partners, what's coming on, what you need to keep aware of, what events are coming. So please sign up. You will receive all that information. And that's about it. You're going to have a card to provide feedback to us. Please fill it out, and you have a chance to win a Galaxy Note 8. And if you have questions, please let us know. Any questions? Sure. One moment. Okay.
So we are a digital health company, and we've developed solutions for digital health applications. And we are on pretty much all the other wearables available, the Apple Watch, what used to be the Pebble, and so on. We've had our applications, it has a Gear component, a device component, and the mobile component for the Samsung Galaxy series of smartphones. Okay. And we've had this application ready to go for the last 6 months, and we've been trying to publish the app. Contacted several sources in Samsung. We were told to go online and fill out a Samsung partnership application, and they said they would get back to us in 2 weeks. We did that 4 months ago. Okay. So is that with S-Health? Sorry? With S-Health? No, it's not with S-Health. It's with the Tizen.
With Tizen wearables regular.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So, I'm just curious to see if this, the links that you provided, support at SamsungDevelopers.com and so on, is that the route for us to go?
Definitely.
Today, we don't have any IAPs in our app right now, but we expect to have it down the road. So, I'd love to have any information on how I can publish my app.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, even if you don't have IAP right now, any kind of integration issue that is blocking you to publish your application in our store, we are here to help you. So,
well, right now we don't even have a path to publish it. We don't even know how to do it, and we've not been able to get any information on that.
Okay, we can help you definitely. Okay. So please, at the end, come over here and we can talk.
Awesome.
And I'll give you my card. Yeah, we can help you.
Thank you.
Any other question? No, we're good. Oh. We have one there, and then we'll go with you.
How many users are there in these Galaxy stores right now?
So we have 25 monthly active users in the US right now.
25
million, sorry. 21. It's 21 now. 25 million monthly active users in the US at this point.
I see. Thanks.
Okay, so it keeps growing. There's a lot of traffic. We are seeing a lot of engagement. Very important to highlight from Galaxy apps, our users are more engaged than they are in other stores. So they come back, they monetize better because they like the quality of the applications they are downloading. Okay? So they are willing to invest more on an application that they download from the store.
Is there a user community on the store?
User community?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, people can come and leave comments in the applications, and we also hear it even in the developer channels. We hear the users' feedback of what they want to see, new features. So they express what they want through the channels that are available. It can be directly to the application, or it can be through our direct channels. Sorry.
Thank you.
Sure. And there was one here.
Thank you. As far as quality, beyond functionality, what else are you looking at?
We are looking at exclusive content or that your app is optimized for a Samsung device. So integrating our billing SDK is part of making your app optimized to a Samsung device. We have more SDKs. We have HPanel, if you take advantage of HPanel. If you have a companion app for wearables, that's also something that we'd like to see.
Okay, so SDK, what's the difference between an IAP, API, and SDK?
So Samsung IAP has an SDK, right?
Say again?
Samsung in-app purchase has an SDK for you to integrate in your application.
Okay.
Right? In that SDK, you can use certain APIs that will communicate between our SDK and our application and your application. So it's all the tools that you need to integrate it in your application.
Okay, but SDK is used to develop the app.
It's part of it. There are other SDKs. If it's Android, you're probably going to use Android SDKs, Android APIs for you to build your applications. But we are offering you a set of tools to integrate our functionality to your application.
Okay.
Makes
Thanks.
Anybody else? Any other question? Good. So I hope to see all of your apps in our store soon. Okay, thank you so much.